Hey, can you hear me now? Had a user error. Forgot to unmute my microphone. Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. All right. Hey, Pedro. Awesome. Hey, thanks for joining, everyone. So today, this shouldn't be a fairly long stream. I think it's going to be fairly quick, but I want to show you how the OpenBOR port is progressing. And at the end of the last video or the last stream, we got it working on WinUAE, and we ran a couple of games, and everything was working really well. And the next logical step is to test it on some real hardware. So today, I'm going to test it on two different Amigas. And the first one, which is the one you see here, is my Amiga 4000. And that's it's running a Warp Engine 040 at 40 megahertz with Picasso. Sorry, let me start over. It's running a Warp Engine 040 at 40 megahertz, but it has the Mediator PCI bus in it with a Voodoo 3 retargetable graphics card running Picasso 96 in it. So it's a pretty pimped out system. And let me just show you the sysinfo, or not the sysinfo, the basically just show you the hardware. And while I'm trying to find where that is, the other test I'm going to do today is the Amiga 600 with the Vampire 2 hooked up. Now, I do have an AGA port that's I'm still currently developing, but it's not ready yet. So I was hoping I'd have it running on my Amiga 1200 with an 060, but unfortunately, I can't do that today. But it'll probably be tomorrow or at some point this weekend. So today it's really going to be the A4000, and this is really going to be the low end. And you'll see, and you'll make up your own conclusions whether you think it's playable or not. And then we'll flick over to the A600 with the Vampire, and you'll get a really good idea of how this can perform on a really high-end accelerator. So let me just kind of show config here. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. I want sys speed, I think it is. Just bear with me, guys. Here we go. That's what I want. Sys speed, and then if I go to system info, yeah, this is what I want to show you guys. So I've got the Warp Engine 040. I got the two L-Box devices, and the individual computer's device, that's an Xsurf 100 network card that's in there. And the unknown man ID, I believe I also have plugged in the I can't remember the name of it now, the streaming MP3 device that plugs into a big boy Amiga, the one that has the MHI library, which I can't remember the name of it for some reason. I've just had a mental blank. If someone knows what it is, someone knows what it is, just type it in the chat. But really, I just wanted to kind of show you, this is not an emulator, this is real hardware. And I've got some fancy Commodore graphic that I ripped off the internet just to kind of make it look nice. But this is real hardware running under the hood. So let's see how well OpenBOR performs. And let's go into it now. Now, one thing that is very apparent is the performance of the loading is really slow. And there is a workaround that I have in place for that. But loading files on real Amiga hardware can be a little tedious. Right now I don't have an icon or anything like that. I've just got a whole bunch of files in here. But so I'm going to run this real quick, and you'll get a good idea of the performance here. So you have to provide the command line argument for the pack file that you're trying to load. I removed the menu from last week. It was basically using a lot of memory for no real good reason. So I took it out in favor of just command line argument for the game that you want to load. And I may make a MUI style menu or something later on, but I took that out because it was really just a waste of resources, and I didn't really want to do that. So this is OpenBOR loading on a 040. Thank you, Prisma Megamix. Thank you, Ian. Man, for some reason I just had a mental block. But yeah, I've got a Prisma Megamix card in here as well. And I do have a Sound Blaster 16 PCI card, which is running the AHI stuff. So the audio that you will hear in this game on this configuration will be running through my Sound Blaster 16 AHI device. So as you can see, I fixed the screens that were kind of black. They weren't loading last week, and you get this pretty cool little movie intro or GIF intro. As you can see, it's struggling. It's churning a little bit there. But remember, this is on an 040. I just kind of want to show you what this looks like on this spec computer. So as you can probably tell, 040 is about as slow as you want to get. There's no real sense in trying to run this on an 030. I just don't think it's going to be anywhere near playable. And I'll be interested to hear what people's thoughts are about how the 040 performance is when I actually get into it. I'm going to skip this. You can obviously skip it at any time. As you can see, it's still pretty responsive here. You know, I can go through the menus pretty easily. So I'm just going to jump into the game. But as you can tell, the loading is pretty slow. There's probably a way I can speed this up. I don't have the fastest, so I'm just running an IDE hard drive in there. So your mileage may vary there. If you're running compact flash or something else, it may be faster. It may not be. If you have some kind of SCSI 2 or ultra-wide SCSI, that may assist as well. But so this is how it performs on an 040. I'm just going to show you a little bit of gameplay here. So, you know, not terrible, but if you go back and look at the footage of last week, it's certainly a lot jerkier. And when there's more activity going on here, it really starts to churn a little bit, or chug a little bit, I should say. And sometimes it's a little tricky to play to get those button presses to register. So what do you guys think of this? I mean, on an 040. Would you consider this playable? I would say it's borderline playable, personally. So you can see there, it's really starting to hurt a little. I should turn the frame counter on. I'll probably do that here in a second. I have to quit out of the game. Well, I have to quit out of this game to turn it back on. But this is probably running at about 10 to 12 frames per second. I don't know if you can hear the sound. There is sound coming out. It's very, very soft though. Can you guys hear the sound? I think it's just my volume settings. Can't hear the sound. Yeah, there's sound coming out, Degraver. And it's not choppy or anything. It actually sounds pretty good. You'll just have to take my word for it. Except for the keyboard noises, yeah. Sorry about that. So what do you guys think about this? You think this is something that's playable on 040? I don't really personally think it is. It might be okay. I think some of the... there are probably some titles that will work better that have smaller sprites. And there's probably some titles that will work... well, that would be a lot worse. Yeah, there may be some additional optimizations that can be done to get it working better. I've also am thinking about, I don't know if you can tell, but the foreground, that fence in the foreground that's kind of scrolling, the parallax, you can actually disable that layer. And, there may be some hacks that we can do to disable some of the layers that you see here that will help with kind of lower spec Amigas. It may give us a few more frames, but at the end of the day, I mean, we've got a lot of sprites here, a lot of activity. Unless we really start to optimize with assembly language code, which is really not something that I'm too skilled in, we're only going to get a little bit more performance, I would think. But I was thinking about disabling some of the layers, so that would definitely help with a lower spec Amiga. Let me quit out and turn on the frame counter so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Let's see, options, system options, debug. Now, it does cache a lot of the files, so it shouldn't take as long to load this time around as it did the first time, hopefully. Or maybe it's just crashed, I'm not sure. It may have crashed. Oh no, there it goes. Just got to be patient. JJ's asking, how do you capture the Amiga? So the way I capture on the Amiga is I use a Micomsoft SC512 capture card. I'll type it in the chat. It's a little more expensive than a Elgato, which, by the way, I've never had any success with Elgato cards capturing Amiga at all. So what I've got is, I've got a Micomsoft SC512. It's just a PCI Express card that plugs into a PC. And there's different connectors for VGA and HDMI and component and composite and S-Video. And this thing just really captures anything. Anything I throw at it, it just works. So I've got my Amiga 4000 with the Voodoo 3 with the VGA adapter coming out of that, going straight into the capture card, the Micomsoft capture card into my PC. So there's no upscalers or any fancy scan doublers or anything like that going on. It's kind of raw Amiga, well, it's raw video, RGB video. So it works really well. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure why. It should capture audio as well, but I'm not sure why it's not, or at least it's very soft. And yeah, Vodian, there is sound. It's just very soft. And I'm going to do Vampire after this little test here. But I just wanted to show everyone, what the lowest common denominator is and how it looks on a lower spec or less powerful Amiga hardware. So I'm going to do the Vampire 2 here shortly. I'd expect the Elgato would go weird. Yeah, I mean, I've never really had much success with the Elgato cards on retro hardware, not just Amiga hardware, on pretty much any retro hardware, unless you're capturing composite video from a game console or S-Video. trying to capture RGB is just a nightmare, and I've never really had good success with the Elgato cards, and I ended up just getting something a little better. But there are many options to capture Amiga video, and one of the more popular ones is there's a cheap scan doubler that you can get that takes a SCART input and outputs HDMI, and some of the other YouTubers use that to capture their Amiga footage, and it works pretty well, and it's very cheap as far as I know. It's only like about 30 or 40 bucks. So as you can see, the frame rate here, it's like 11, 12, 13, but obviously there's nothing going on here. As you get into the game, it starts to churn. So, but like I said, there's probably a couple of things that can be done to make this run a little better. But really, I just wanted to show you how it's running on an 040 at 40 megahertz. And if you really think about it, an 040 at 40 megahertz really has no business running something like this, Open Beats of Rage. So I'm pretty impressed with the way it actually has turned out, even on hardware like this. As you can see, it's really dropped down to 4 to 5 frames per second, especially when there's a lot of activity. I mean, that's almost a slideshow there, quite honestly. I'm going to load up one more game and on this hardware, and then we'll switch over to the Vampire. So I've got a couple of different games in this folder. I'm going to see if there's one that's a little less taxing. There may not be. Let's try Golden Axe. That may run a little better, or may not. Let's see. Oh, that didn't even work. Not sure. I'm not sure if I typed the name of the file right. Let's do that again. That's better. Yeah, I didn't type it right. Hey, what's up, Kid Panda? Thanks for joining, man. I did end up getting Classic Workbench. Yeah, Classic Workbench is awesome, JJ. I use it all the time. It just works really well. And it's not full of bloat, you know, like a lot of the other kind of distributions that you may come across. I don't know how this is going to run, guys, on 040. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, Ian, it is. And there are some out there that's already lower spec. Last week I was playing a Double Dragon game, and that had a lot smaller sprites, and that actually seemed to run pretty well. Let's try this one. So let's skip all this. Here we go. Yeah, you can definitely create games that are lower spec that should run better on lesser hardware. So we'll do this. Then I will fire up the Vampire 2 and show you the difference in performance with that. Yeah, there is sound. I'm just not. I'm not capturing it for some reason. Oh man, this is pretty bad. Looks pretty cool though. Looks like Golden Axe 2. Alright, you get the idea here. Pretty slow and jerky. Alright, I'm going to just take a quick break while I set up the A600, and just give me like 2 minutes and we'll fire up the Vampire 2 and show you the difference. Be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. Any chance of MSX stream show? I don't know what that is. What do you mean by MSX? Like MSX the computer MSX, or? Anyway, let's move on. So this is the A600 running the Vampire 2. I got the Gold 2.5 core in here currently, and this is obviously the fastest Amiga you can get on the market today. And let me just show you the speed of this thing compared to what we had previously on the 040. And I need to find sysspeed in programs, I think it is. Benchmarks, sysspeed. As you can see, we're about 100 MIPS there, 96. So let's go ahead and test some games on this bad boy. So I've already got this set up in my program games folder. Let's run through the same tests as before. Oops. Oh, this is the other Golden Axe game that I downloaded. This is actually not the one that I wanted to load first up, but we'll let this go. MSX2. I don't actually have an MSX computer, so I can't do a stream show on that. I've always wanted to get one though, but I don't actually have one. They're pretty cool systems. I'm a big fan of them. You know, I'm going to kill this, guys. This one takes a long time to load. I'm going to load up the original game that we played on the A4000 and just show you the difference in speed. Just restarting the Amiga. Hey, Minaj. Thanks for joining, man. I think Amy10 may... Yeah, I think Amy10 is doing an MSX show. You may have been confused with Amy10. Let's try that again. Let me see. What have I got on this machine? BOR remix. Yeah, I may have not copied it onto this machine. I'll do that here. Well, let me show you the Golden Axe game and show you the difference there, at least to start with. That we just played on the A4000. Awesome to hear that, man. Yeah, it's really nice over here in the Midwest in the US as well. Beautiful weather today. I should be outside in the sunshine, but I'm nerding it out on my computer for you guys today. I'm in the USA, Minaj. I was born in Australia, but live in the USA. And I think my machine just decided to restart itself. Huh. Let's try that again. Will it work this time? There it goes. All right, let's just skip all this crap. So, this is what you will see on a Vampire, if you have a Vampire, as compared to what we saw on the 040 just before. Maybe. Give me a sec, guys. I wonder if sometimes I have to reseat my Vampire card. It acts up a little. Let me just check it out here. Yeah, it's a little loose in here. Let me just tighten it up again. I really need to just put that riser in there. Yeah, it runs knighting. Sometimes I just have to reseat my vampire card. Sometimes it comes loose and I get some weird behavior. I will turn on the FPS counter. I'm going to delete all these config files as well, just to make sure nothing's causing it to crash. Let's get rid of all this stuff here and try that again. Locked up again. Huh. Let me see what's going on. Give me a sec, guys. This is not what happened last night. That's what all developers say, right? It works on my machine, you know. We'll figure it out. Maybe at some point you could look at doing Legacy to work. Is that open source? Acidamon? Yeah, Minaj, I'm just restarting again, man. This doesn't work. I'm going to try another game. Is Dune Legacy an open source version of, the Red Alert engine or the Dune engine? That'd be kind of cool. When I look at doing open source ports, the thing that I really look for is to make sure the code's complete, so you can actually play the game. It's playable, rather than, you can run a few levels but nothing really happens. If it's something that provides a playable experience, then I'd definitely be interested. Yeah, it's crashed again. So let me try another game. I'm not sure what's going on with my vampire today. We'll try another one. I'll check it out. Dune Legacy. I think I've heard of OpenRA. That's the Open Red Alert engine. That'd be kind of cool. I want to say, though, that someone's already tried to port that before. So I don't know if that actually got anywhere. Hey, what's up, Flight? Hopefully this will work this time. Well, I don't have the risers in mine, knighting. I got a vampire really early and didn't come with the risers. So I really need to get someone just put them in there. Mine always comes loose every time I bump it. But I'm going to try something else. Let's try Final Fight. Let's see. I don't think I loaded that right. FFA. I didn't. Packs. Oops. FFA. See if this one works. Have you ever watched someone else's live stream? Yeah, I have, Minaj. I watch Amiton sometimes. I'm a big fan of Guru Meditation. Definitely want to check out Guru Meditation's live streams. He does some really cool stuff. Really good Amiga content. Amiton does some good stuff as well. And I watch just random stuff. If there's a new game that's been released that I want to pick up, a new modern game, I'll definitely jump on someone's stream just to check out the gameplay of it. Will this work? Nope, it crashed. Wow. Give me just a sec, guys. I am going to take a short break, check out my setup here, make sure nothing's loose, and I will be right back. Let's try it from the command line. Yeah, Flyby. I think I fixed it, man. I updated to Goal 2.5, and I just updated the SDL version as well, and it seems like it fixed everything. So I don't really see that happening anymore. So I think I just had an older version of libSDL, and I went to Goal 2.5 as well. So this looks better. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you guys. I just basically re-plugged everything in, and everything seems to work now. So hopefully that is true. So I'm going to turn on the frame counter and show you what this looks like on a Vampire. And there is sound, but unfortunately it's not coming through the stream. So you just have to take my word for it. But there is sound, and it sounds really good. No, it's not choppy or anything like that. There we go. So check out that frame counter now. Not between 90 and 100 frames per second. Now remember, on the A4000 we were at about 12 when there was nothing happening, and we're dropping to about 4 when there was about 4 or 5 sprites on the screen. So you get an idea of the power of this thing. Now it does drop frames. Well, it does. The frames do decrease when there's more stuff going on. But this is, if you have a Vampire 2, this is the level of performance that you should expect. It runs very, very fast. And there is sound. And I'm not very good at this game, as you can tell. Plus, I'm using a keyboard. Now, one thing I haven't really tested yet, guys, is controller support. I feel like there's probably going to be some code that I have to add for controllers. I'm really just using the keyboard for now. I've really been focusing on just getting a a playable experience on Amiga hardware. Yeah, there's definitely a vertical blank issue. There's some screen tearing. I think Flight noticed it, but as you scroll across the screen, it kind of tears a little bit. But I don't think that's anything that can't be resolved pretty quickly. But yeah, this is Final Fight, or the OpenBOR Final Fight, which is pretty fun to play. Who would have thought that you'd be seeing this on Amiga hardware? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Yeah, this is 256 colors. So this is a 320 by 240 by 8-bit screen mode. So this is 256 colors. And for those people that didn't catch the stream at the start, I am working on an AGA port as well. I have an Amiga 1200 that has an 060, and I want to see how that performs on AGA. I'm working on the AGA port right now. Man, I'm getting my ass kicked here. And the loading, obviously, on the Vampire is a lot faster than it was previously as well. So let's try another game. But as you can see, really awesome performance here. If you have a Vampire card, this is what you would expect to see when I get this port released. And I should have this port released pretty soon. I'm hoping to get it out over the next few days on Aminet. But yeah, there's definitely you can kind of see the screen tearing a little when you scroll. Awesome, Citymon. Do you have the A600 or the A500? Vasily, will the AJ version use Novacode as port? Actually, Vasily, what I've done with the AGA version is I've completely stripped out SDL. So it's using native Amiga screen modes. So it's not using Novacode's SDL port at all. Now, this port that you see, this is running SDL. This is the retargetable graphics version. And I'd be interested to see how well it performs with SDL taken out on a Amiga 1200 with an 060 in it. Yeah, I'm interested to see how well it performs as well on an AGA setup. I want to make sure that people that have AGA hardware and they have fast Amigas on AGA can get a chance to play this as well. Alright, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to try another game. Let's see. Let's try that Golden Axe again, see if it wants to work this time. Crashed again. Maybe it's just the game. Yeah, I'll try another one. AGA version should fly in a Vampire Gold 3. Yeah, I mean, we have to wait for the A1200 Vampire to be released, which I'm sure will be at some point. Packs, and then let's try BOR Remix, I think it is. Yeah, let's try that Remix one. I know that one works. Oh, that doesn't work either. Huh. I may still have a couple of bugs I need to figure out here, guys. Not sure why I got an error there. Just want to stabilize the code a little better before I release it. I think there's still a couple of issues I need to figure out. Yeah, I'm gonna hard reset my system here. No, I don't think it's an FPU issue. I compile it. There's a compiler flag that you can use that will get around it. It's called soft float, and although there is some FPU code in this port, it shouldn't crash, especially at the start like that. I think there's maybe some kind of stack issue or something. Oops. It's not payback. Let's go to OpenBOR packs. What do we got here? Let's try HFF. I don't even know what that is. That crashed as well. Huh. Yeah, there's definitely something I need to fix here, guys. There's still more code issues. An 060 will be enough to keep it above 12. Yeah, I think an 060 will run well, Vasily. I don't know, did you catch this, the start? I was testing on a 040 at 40 megahertz, and that was struggling. It started out at about 12 or 13, but when there was about 4 or so sprites on the screen, it dropped down to about 3 to 4. And there is a couple of things I'm going to try to do. You can disable some of the layers, which will definitely help, but it will. It's basically turning off some options as far as the graphics layers. Not sure what one. I'm just loading up a new one here. I'm not really sure what this one is. I like that. Love that little splash screen there. Not under license from Sega and SNK. I wonder what this is. Probably Street Fighter Victory. Okay. Let's pick Ryu. Oh, I forgot to turn on the frame counter. Oh, wow. This is a Street Fighter beat 'em up with some Final Fight characters as well. His little move there is a fireball. You can launch from command line. I took the GUI out flight because it was using up a lot of resources that I didn't really need. I may add it back in, but some of these games need a lot of memory to load. So I wanted to really make sure that I maximized the amount of RAM that people had. I think 128 megabytes is fine. 64 should be fine as well, but for those people that have, say 32, some of these may not load very well for them. But I may add the menu back in. I took it out because it was really causing me a lot of grief with memory. All right, that one's pretty dull. Let's try another one. Oh, this one's oops. This one has crashed. Some of them have different screen modes, and I got to figure that out as well. I'll show you what I'm talking about after this is restarted. Can you put in a minimalistic GUI? Yeah, I can probably do that, JJ. I was thinking about maybe just making some little app that just launches it. It doesn't even have to be like, it could just be like an MUI app that's a separate app that just sends the command line argument to the game and runs it that way. That might work. So this one, it's actually running in a high screen mode, and I need to handle that in code as well. So this is running, I think, at 640 by 480, and as a result of that, this runs a little slower than the 320 by 480 ones that I was running just before. But I'll have to come up with a way to blit this either into the center of the screen where that kind of gray area is, or just to stretch it to the full screen, which shouldn't be hard to do either way. It's really about which one performs better. Now this is actually loading. Looking at my compact flash card, it's gone crazy here. So we'll give this one a minute. Yeah, I mean, anyone can knock out a front end pretty easily. So this is Fighting Spirit. I haven't even played this yet, so I don't know how this is going to go. But this is running at 640 by 480. That's why it's a little smaller. Let's try it. So I'll have to figure this out as well. And as you can see, the colors are all wrong. I think the red, green, blue is reversed. So I'll have to figure that out. So there's still a couple of things I got to fix here in code. Add a file request. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about just doing something really simple. Just an easy way for someone to launch it. But I also was thinking that I don't necessarily want someone to type on a keyboard to launch a game. Maybe there is a way they can control their options but with a joystick. Because I know I get pretty lazy sometimes. I just want to sit back with a joystick and select a game and play it. So this one, as you can see, it's a little slower than the other ones, but it still runs pretty okay. A lot jerkier though. This is a lot more demanding than the other ports. So this is running 640 by 480. And forget this, playing this on an 040, this wouldn't wouldn't even be worth trying. So some of the newer OpenBOR games that people have made run at higher screen modes. There's some that run in widescreen mode, and I don't know how they'll perform. Even on a Vampire, it may be a little taxing, but it may work. I haven't really tried some of the newer ports yet. But yeah, everything's in blue here, which is pretty funny. I think the background graphics are fine. It's just the sprites. The colors are wrong. So I'll figure that out. But you can see by the scrolling there, it really struggles a little. All right, let me. I'm going to put the original BOR game and show you that just to compare how it compares with what we saw last week as well as what we saw just before. And let me show you what that looks like. So I need to do this. Need to grab it off my computer with a compact flash card. Let me restart this. Yeah, and I think it might. And I'm going to test an AGA port of this, but I will say that there is a very, very optimized version of STL that I'm using that has been ported by one of the Vampire team folks that has a lot of the AMMX optimizations inside of it. But that's not to say things can't be faster. Things can always be faster. It really depends on how a native native Vampire graphics may run pretty well. If we take SDL out of the equation, things may run better. But the STL that I'm using is very, very optimized, so it may not. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, this is straight C code. This is not. There's no assembly language code in this at all. So there's always room to improve. Okay. Let me do this. Let me grab this. I'm going to run directory opens here. Get rid of that because that's not what I thought it was. I'm going to replace it with the actual Beats of Rage game. Okay. Right, now let me grab this and then copy this over. Is this the best we can go with this game on a Vampire? Probably not. I think there's definitely ways to improve things. Remember, I've been working on this for about just over a week. It's a pretty fast port, so I haven't really spent too much time trying to speed things up. So there's always ways to improve performance. So what do you think about this, guys? You guys excited for this? I think this has turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. Now I'm curious for Malik and Cannibal. Yeah, I'm going to go back and take a look at that flight. I'll need to. The thing is, I always run things at full screen, never in a window. So I think I'm going to recompile it just to run in a window and just watch the memory usage as the game's loading, because I really don't know. The Citymon, awesome, man. Yeah, good timing too. Now that you got your vampire card. And check out some of the other ports as well. There's some really cool ports out there. Open Tyrion, if you guys haven't seen that, that's an awesome port. Check that out. Sorry about the mundane file copying. I probably should have done this before the stream started, but no worries. Can't get Open Tyrion to work. Black screen, then crash. Huh, okay, that's interesting. What core are you running? Are you on the Gold 2 core? I didn't port Open Tyrion. I think Arxi ported it, but I tested it and it worked fine for me. But I only tried it for about 5 minutes. Huh. All right, let's do this. That should work, I think. And it does. Yeah, I wonder if there's something in your startup that may be conflicting with it. Classic Workbench 3.9. So remember that movie from the 040 that it was pretty much just jerking. This is obviously a lot smoother now, as you can see. I'm just going to skip the intro. But let's turn on the frame counter. Much faster, huh? Look at that. I just need to figure out the vertical blank issue with some of that screen tearing. But overall, this runs pretty well. So I think, an 060 performance would run quite well as well, but probably about 20 frames less than this. I think an 060 would definitely run this quite nicely. Yeah, I think so too, Vasily. Turned out pretty good. There's a couple of drops here, into the 40s. Saw a couple in the 30s there, but it usually catches up fairly quickly. I'm curious about the timing code that they use, whether it's accurate enough. I know they use SDL ticks, and it may need to be replaced just with Amiga timer calls, because I think that's more accurate. So there's definitely some things we can do here to kind of smooth this out a little bit. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Give me that apple. There we go. So yeah, I guess the next steps is just for me just to fix some of those stability issues that we saw with some of the ports that I'm trying to load, and I want to knock out the AGA port as well. But both of those things shouldn't take too much time to figure out, and then really I'm going to release this probably in the next few days. So stay tuned. I usually jump on the English Amiga board EAB forums, and I'll announce that the port's been released. So I'm hoping to upload this to Aminet Sunday night, tomorrow night. So kind of just keep a lookout for it for those that are interested. But I want to make sure I get the AGA version completed first. Awesome. Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how this performs for different people and how well it works. And hopefully the stability's there as well. Hey, what's up, Claude? Yeah. See, when I quit, it crashed, and I think I'm probably not cleaning up some memory, or I'm not shutting down something, or maybe the graphics subsystem isn't terminating properly. So definitely a few more things I want to fix before I feel good about releasing. But I'm used to restarting my Amiga over and over again, so just one of those things, right? Yeah, definitely is, man. What's Hyperdual? I'm gonna try one more thing here, guys. Hyperdual. Hope you guys are enjoying your lovely Saturday weekend. going to grab some lunch and have a few beers after this. See if this is loading. Oh no, it's loading. I thought it crashed, but no, my compact flash card is going crazy, so I'm going to let it go. Doctor Who just starting. I was never really a fan of that show. I don't know why. I should have been, but never really got into it. Isn't the Vampire 2 more like an emulator? It's FPGA, but I wouldn't call it an emulator. Right, it runs native 68,000 code. I never really thought the Vampire... I never really considered the Vampire as an emulator. It's definitely an FPGA, though. This one's taking a while to load, but it is loading. No, you're right. I mean, Flyper's right. It only replaces the CPU. It doesn't replace any of the custom chips in the Amiga at all. Wow, this one's taking forever. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so much argument about what type of device the Vampire is. I'm not really interested in that kind of discussion on this stream. It's really about people should enjoy it if they have one. Getting the fastest accelerator you can in today's world without spending thousands of dollars on eBay trying to get a 060 type board, and that's really all that matters. I have one. I love it. I have you know classic Amiga accelerators as well, and I love those too. There's definitely a place for both, in my opinion. Well, this one isn't really moving anymore, so I'm gonna kill this one. I think it's still there. It's hasn't crashed on me. So Fly, just FYI, it's actually still moving. It's still loading. What I was seeing yesterday was this chip memory was dropping to 0, and this fast memory was just staying constant. But I've seemed to have gotten past that issue now. So, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. I missed the Turrican intro. I caused it to crash. I'll have to look at that again at some point. All right, I'm going to try one more game, guys, and probably going to leave it here for today. I think you guys get the point. Got a few things I got to fix up, but you get a sense of how fast this is. And like I said, I want to get it running on AGA and see what it looks like on my Amiga 1200. So I may do a follow-up stream tomorrow. It'll be pretty quick, though. But, we're pretty close to getting this released. So, yeah, I'm going to load it up again, but it's going to take a few minutes. So let me load it again. This time I'm not going to mess with it. How much is the Vampire card? I don't know exactly. If you look at Amiga Kit, they sell them, or they will sell them. They have like a placeholder to sell them, and there's prices on the Amiga Kit website. I want to say it's around 250 euros, maybe 300 euros, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, man. I mean, this is what I do. I want to go jogging every single day, but I probably go like once a week. So I feel your pain, Knighting. All right, I'm going to sit here and watch this thing load. About 300 euros, about to pay tax and customs fee too, so it was more. Whereabouts are you, Sedamon? What country are you in? Sweden. Okay. I'm not really familiar with the taxes and customs in European countries, but I definitely understand. I think it's worth it though. I mean, if you think about, if you want to buy like a Blizzard 1260 060 card or something like that, they go for, at least in the United States, they go for about $800, $900 for an 060 card. Yeah, it is. I was really lucky when I got my 060 card. I got it for $350, but that was about 5 years ago. Prices have kind of skyrocketed since. Yeah, it was a bargain. The guy that was selling it, he needed fast money. So I was more than happy to take it off his hands. It is expensive. 060, 80 megahertz. Wow. 950 euros. Wow. Yeah, that's true. Even, the individual computers, ACA, 1220, 1223 or the 1233, those cards are pretty high in price. I used to have a ACA 1232 030. I think it was 40 megahertz maybe. That was a good card, really good card. Oh, here we go. See if we get the Turrican logo. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Cool. All right, let's try this. Is this some kind of shoot 'em up hybrid game? Wow, man, this looks cool. This is like a shooter. Didn't know you could make this kind of game. Shoot 'em up game. Interesting. This is really cool. I mean, I kind of figured the engine, the way it worked was would never scroll like this. You would have to, oh, there you go. There's a few little dips there. But yeah, this is interesting. I thought that you couldn't actually do scrolling like this in a game where you could have a shoot 'em up style game, but I guess you can. This looks pretty cool. Definitely some slowdowns there when there's a lot of things, big explosions though. Maybe I have to look at that. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I died. I thought I crashed it. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that and see if I can smooth that out a little bit. That was interesting. I've never seen this game before. It's called Hyperduel. And if you guys are wondering where I'm getting these games from, someone last week told me if you go to openhandhelds.org, I'm just typing in the chat. There's like a Beats of Rage area where you can just download all the games. So I just downloaded a whole bunch of them at random. Let's try that again. This one looks pretty cool. I'm a big shoot 'em up fan, for those that don't know. I love shoot 'em up games. Or shmup games, as they're affectionately known. Or shmups, I should say. Oh, wow. Oh, I guess there's a... Oh, there we go. There's a smart bomb, of course. Oh, wow. It does... It really taxes the frame rate, though. There must be some kind of scaling thing going on. When it scales like that, it really just slows down a lot. Let's try another character. I guess you could recreate a game like, Project X or R-Type or something like that on this engine. I didn't even know you could do that. And yeah, it's definitely the explosions that are killing it. Like right there, it's fine, and even when there's sprites on the screen, it's fine. But when there's explosions like that, whoa, it just crawls. So at least I know what to look for. Maybe we can do something there. But yeah, look at that. Wow. That's pretty painful. Otherwise, it's fine. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I want to take a look at that. That's definitely an area that in the code that I wonder if I can help speed up the explosions that are going on there. But that's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't know you could have shoot 'em up games on this engine. So I'll look out for a few more games of that style and see what we can do there. Yeah, I think it's probably there's just so much going on that it's really just, maybe there's a way to reduce the explosions or something as a quick hack, to not disable them completely because that would look weird, but stop them, stop the amount of explosions that are going on. You could disable scaling. Yeah, that's a possibility as well. So there's definitely some things I can try. Maybe add a couple of different options. But I guess the first thing I want to look at is if there's a way to optimize what is currently there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool game. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. You got a taste of how this runs on 040 hardware and Vampire hardware. And like I said, I got a couple of things I want to finish up and maybe do some more tweaking. But I'm pretty happy with the way this has turned out. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream today. And if you haven't seen the ones I did previously about how I ported this over to the Amiga, take a look. I know it may be a little dull and boring watching someone with a IDE mess around with C code, but really just to get a sense of how ports work on the Amiga. So stay tuned. I'll probably do another stream maybe tomorrow, but it'll be a quick one. I really want to get the AGA stuff up and running, and we can take a look at that as well. I want to get everyone that's interested that has pretty decent hardware to be able to play this stuff. So, like I said at the start of the stream, I think 040. I don't know if it's playable, but there are a couple of things I may try, like disabling some of the layers and things like that to help with performance there. Just reading the comments. Yeah, thanks guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. I'm having fun doing these type of ports, and I really just wanted to share this one with everyone and how I go about doing ports and stuff like that. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm not going to ramble on any longer. I'm going to grab some lunch and go out and enjoy the sunshine. So, catch you guys next time. I'll probably be back online tomorrow. Thanks again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers.